here is a glucose, and this whole little artistic work right here, the sugar baby, is a complex carbohydrate. That means that this complex carbohydrate is made up of many glucose. They join together to form this complex carbohydrate. Now, when the glucose is in the blood, that means all these books are free. But if there is too much glucose, your body will literally take the glucose and pack them up nicely back into complex carbohydrates called glycogen, and store it in your muscles and also store it in your liver. What happens? When you are hungry, as they say, or you feel like you want to eat some food, that same stored carbohydrates is broken down again, and your body could get it back as glucose. That's why you will not die if you don't eat for 7 days. I mean, you won't die, you know. Why? Because there is food stored within your muscles, food stored in your liver, and whenever you are hungry, your body actually utilizes that. Also, the fats that is stored under your skin, stored around the different organs in your system, if you have no food, your system is going to utilize that also. Your muscles that make up this here, they have big muscles and so you're coming up. These muscles here, they are made up of proteins. But if you have no food, man, you have no need of lifting up any heavy weight. Your body needs to survive, so your body is going to eat up the protein. Break it down so the levels of nutrients could increase in your system. Right? Now, insulin don't just allow sugar to enter into your cells. Insulin also regulates how much fats you store. The higher the insulin level, the more fats that you store in your system. That's why most times that people that are on insulin injection would begin to get fat and bloated and gain weight. Why? Because the insulin is doing the exact opposite if it's really supposed to do when you are giving someone the insulin injection. The insulin now, the excess insulin now, because the higher insulin levels are, your body would say, man, my insulin levels are high. That means that there is lots of glucose in my system already. So any glucose that are available in your system, your body will literally be continually changing it into fat and storing it inside of your system. Because everything is controlled by the level of different chemicals right within your system. Now, even if that diabetes specifically, where it begins to get really dread is when you begin to understand why is it's important that every cell gets glucose for energy. If the cells in your brain has no energy, what's going to happen? You can't think. If the cells in your eye can't get any energy, it's going to get tired. So literally your entire system is going to get disease with diabetes. Number one, your kidneys are going to get real bad. Why? Because the more glucose in your blood, the more filtering your kidneys will have to do of the excess glucose. That's why when you urinate, you're still going to find sugar in your urine. Why? Because your kidney is trying to take out the excessive sugar. So what's going to happen? You're going to have damaged kidneys. Even the pressure in the end arteries in your eyes is going to increase. You're going to develop diabetic retinopathy, where your retina at the back of your eye is going to begin to get damaged and you're going to get blind. Diabetic glaucoma. All these things come from your same diabetes. Liver problems, arteriosclerosis. All these things are accompanied with diabetes. So when you hear diabetes now, it's not just sugar. It deals with everything from just your simple sugar, but also your proteins and your fats. Because the insulin don't just control the sugar, it also controls the fats and the protein. So if you have no sugar and you say, man, I have diabetes, but I will only eat chicken because it has lots of proteins, your sugar, what do your cells need? What do your cells need for energy? Glucose. Right? So what it's going to do with the proteins? It's going to turn the proteins into glucose. in a process called gluconeogenesis, and the level of sugar is going to increase again. So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your lifestyle. Because we have deviated from a natural levity, the synthetic sugars. Even if in our book, when you read about how we create a diabetic, because diabetics are created, you know. A system is set that diabetics are created. That after this child is born, I was coming on a cab today, and the man and them was saying that some people came out of Afghanistan. Right? There's war in Afghanistan now, in 2008, and they said they are going to be on holidays or out of Afghanistan until 2010, when they are going to be redeployed. So I said, hey, if we're in 2008, and I mean, if a war has been fought for peace, how could you? Why are you so sure that there's going to be a war in 2010? It's going to escape a lot of people, you know. But the mere fact that you are telling me that these people that just came out of a war, but they are going to go back in 2010, what does that mean? Because I mean, they have planned for 2010. So I mean, they know what's going to happen. What do we have planned as a nation of people? We as a nation of people for our 2010 and for our 2050. Do we have any plans to organize a healthcare system that is suited for us? Are we working towards that as a nation of people?
Somehow.
It's a shame. It's a shameful thing, the position of a black man today. And we have to realize that, and we have to begin to work towards better. Because if all of us sit down here today, and 25 years from now you're going to say, oh, only if I knew, man, or your children coming up and he's telling you, boy, you have to go to NHS. And for years you've been going to health seminars, for years you've been doing many things. Why is it that we don't move up to a level whereby we could provide the necessities for ourselves as a nation of people? The medical system that is created outside there is not suited for us. It was not designed with us in mind. We came in the wind rush, as they say. Here are the people that came here in the wind rush, and the children of these people, when they came here, it wasn't that they didn't start to build houses separate and put you in open fields and give you yards and fowls and so. They packed you in little rooms for £1.15 a week. So all these things, you have to keep these things in mind. So what do we develop for ourselves, and what objectives are we working towards accomplishing within the next 25 years and the next 50 years? So where are we going to be deployed? I mean, the English troops are going to be in Afghanistan in 2010. And I'm telling you, they have plans for 2050. Think it's jokes? Yes, but they have plans. So we have to begin to think in that type of level to fundamentally even begin to go into the higher realms of what we are dealing with. Now, that specific aspect of the lecture, right now what we are going to do, we are going to do a simple vegetable soup, but we're going to want some volunteers to literally come and do it. Volunteer, like two people. Volunteer. 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 No volunteers?
Yeah, volunteer.
Come. Come. All right. What we are going to do? You have to wash your hands. You have to give our volunteers a hand.